it's better if I let you go. You'll be better off. Ain't nothing we haven't tried. I'll sing you one last goodbye, and I won't think twice. So, ready or not, I'll go. I'm setting you free for sure right now. Don't ask me how.
Thought I had her in a loose-leaf grip, that I'd take my time. She keeps calling and she just won't quit, and we all know why. Screws tried to lure me right into an affidavit. Remind me as I'm falling and I'm out of time. I'm caught up in your tongue, they say. You claim that you love me, but it's just another play. I'm stuck inside your room all day. You say it's for my safety, but I'm just one of your prey. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. She has the time to decide how she's gonna kill you. You can keep running, keep your eyes wide open, but you never see it coming, no use. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. Hidden kisses always felt so sweet that they left me blind. Making promises we just can't keep, and it felt so right. Screws tried to lure me right into an affidavit. Remind me as I'm falling and I'm out of time. I'm caught up in your tongue, they say. You claim that you love me, but it's just another play. I'm stuck inside your room all day. You say it's for my safety, but I'm just one of your prey. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. She has the time to decide how she's gonna kill you. You can keep running, keep your eyes wide open, but you never see it coming, no use. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. take away my voice. You used to be like home, but now the whole place is so destroyed, and I'll survive on my own. I'm stronger than when I started, even through all the times I hit the ground. I'm stronger than what you wanted, even through all the times you burned me down. I'll keep rising from the dust. You used to always say words that were laced with poison love, and you thought I'd always stay. Guess it turns out push came to shove, we'll never be the same. You take the dig, I take the jump, I finally found my way. I'm stronger than when I started, even through all the times I hit the ground. I'm stronger than what you wanted, even through all the times you burned me down. I'll keep rising from the dust. I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, can I stay here for the night? I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. keep running, but your legs are standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena, given to us by Game Pants himself. So glad to have you guys back. Take a check at our production. And the players on the board tonight, those won't be the players. That's the Overwatch team. But tonight, we've got ECAC Rocket League for you. Boise State playing off tonight. I will be calling some of the action. I'm Greg Old Soul Smith right here on the desk for you with me, which I'm sure you'll see soon. I've got Tacky in the house. You've got to see it to believe it. There it is. Tacky, how are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing pretty well. We've seen a lot of Rocket League tonight. How do you feel about all that?
Well, lots of Rocket League.
Lots of
the
Rocket
game,
League.
so I can't argue too much, but it is a lot of Rocket League.
It sure is a lot of Rocket League. It's a good stance to have, but this is a slightly different Rocket League. It's not exactly esports tower. We're looking at a different caliber of gameplay. Still 3-on-3, still car soccer, but this time it's Boise State facing off another college in the ECAC, fighting for the top 32. What do you expect to see differently?
Well, as I am pretty closely related to the team, obviously, and I expect a lot of really consistent comms combined with consistent rotations out of this team in particular. I know that we're going to see a lot of Gill Instinct and Danger today. That's the team we're going to look at. And all three of those teammates kind of have a reputation for playing at the highest level and playing really consistently and kind of setting a cutting edge for the university, and it's really impressive to watch, and I'm excited to see what they got for us today.
A cutting edge for the university indeed, and for themselves. I understand most of the team is freshmen, maybe looking at one sophomore. They're pretty fresh to the game, but they are not new. Sorry, pretty fresh to the team, but not new to the game. These are seasoned professionals, to say the least, to be sure. We've seen some great action from them in the past, for sure. They're pretty high contenders, aren't they?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And it was really interesting to watch from a distance and kind of experience how they got better as freshmen even then, and kind of adapt to the BSU mentality on playing the game.
Well, they're not new to the game, but if you are, here are the rules. For ECAC Collegiate Rocket League, we're looking at 3v3 soccer in a best-of-5 situation. These are all your standard competitive maps, and a golden goal sudden death should we get down to it. But let's try to prevent that. Let's squash them in their footsteps. Let's have Boise State just take it home real quick. Though we did get to see some decent golden goals early on, some quick equalization. Do we think that Boise State's a real offensive team, real defense, real balanced, make accommodations? How do you feel we are in that push versus hold position?
I think it depends. I think it depends on the comfort level of each individual player when they step up to bat, to say the least. But I think it also depends on what kind of team they feel like they're playing against, what they feel like is working, what they feel like needs worked on. And at the end of the day, just as well as esports towers, they're here to learn, because you don't have to win everything in your first season.
Definitely.
You can develop from it and get better and better each season. So I'm really excited to see kind of what the question you just asked, whether they come out swinging or whether they come out feeling it out a little bit more, trying to find their place and punish mistakes over and over again. I'm just impressed overall by this team, and I want to see what comes up.
Yeah, well, it doesn't happen on accident. We've got some things to keep in mind here. Doc has recently amended his keys to the game. These fresh ones are in Rocket League. You've got to set the play style yourself, understand them rotations, play to follow up, and use those sweaty comms. Keep them hot. This is brought to you by Drop In Gaming. Well, I am ready to see the game if you are, but before we get into it, let's talk about this set play style. Now, each team, they have the chance to, in a best of 5, play a little bit differently earlier on in the maps than later on in the match. Do you think that we'll see our team try to gauge the punching distance of the other team, maybe play it loose and then bring the fire later? Or do you think that you should just try to squash it out early and not play long term, but just rush in?
Well, I feel like BSU, especially with their coaching and what I understand about their coaching, it is definitely a more calculated sense of play style. Not that it can't be aggressive, more so that it's going to be a little bit less Hail Mary and a little bit more rotation-oriented and a little bit more based off of consistency and just playing the game how we know how to play it rather than forcing things that don't necessarily need to be forced, and basically looking for opportunities that are handed to us and then punishing them in the best way known possible.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Yeah, punishing in the best way known possible. You can't just do it right the first time. Making sure that, because they're playing against solid teams themselves as well. All of these collegiate teams are pretty intense. The ECAC is not something easy to take over on your own. So they're going to have to respond to some input from the other side here.
Definitely.
Do you think that punishing or being right the first time is incredibly more important? Do you think we're going to see a lot of accommodation, or do you think having the skill in the first place is where it needs to be?
Honestly, I'm just as curious as you on that.
Okay.
But if I'm having to guess, I'm thinking in this particular situation, BSU is looking a lot to kind of play their own game, and by doing so and forcing mistakes a lot more often, they're expecting that maybe St. Joseph's will be stuck having to answer the entire game and being forced to play to the kind of the tune of Boise State University.
Yep. All right, well, let's get right into it. Look at this beautiful night city. We are already at 4 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock, playing against Parsnip Calvin, and yes, that won't make anything confusing, I'm sure. Yes, looking to take it right out from underneath the goal, and Danger sending it straight back up. Danger absolutely blocked by Yes. Gill on the follow-up, looking to keep it towards that goal. Is able to dip it over one, but doesn't gain a lot of ground.
Definitely a lot of pressure from BSU so far, but we did start a little bit on their offensive end. Gill, that is a fantastic shot. Look at how he finds the upper 90, one of the most impossible places to save. But I gotta hand it to Instinct as well with the handoff straight to Gills. Looks really pretty when they work together like that. Really great practice and coming into play there.
It does. That back tire just scooped right up into the top corner. It was beautifully done.
Oh, and an open net found by Danger. It bounced off the wall with no answer. And so Danger is like, well, if you're gonna hand it to me, I might as well. That's kind of what I was talking about before, the mistake out from St. Josephtown as they're unable to make contact with Danger's shot.
St. Joseph's University coming in at 2-0 so far. Boise State's really got to change something if they want to keep this moving.
Yeah, Danger going for a back pass there is a really interesting strategy. You can see that they're kind of, instead of just breaking down and playing the way that's kind of expected of them, they're going for some interesting plays and trying to play again to their own tune, finding ways to work together that kind of are on their own schedule.
Yeah, really setting the gameplay style there. St. Joseph's University with another good one, bringing it 3-0. Just not quite there.
Yeah, and I was going to say Gill had a great cherry pick there, almost found the back of the net all his own, but it still ended up being a great pass.
And don't be confused by the overlay. It is 3-0 in Boise State's name. We've been giving all the points to Gill, don't worry. Danger looking to chip it up and get it back out of there. Send it over, but he's got 3 people to do it. A little bit of help from Instinct makes it an easy clear, and that back plate only barely saved almost. What a scramble. 2 to 3 shots on goal if you count that backboard, but it just goes open. Too many people deep into it, leaves an open goal on BSU's turf, and that's a point for St. Joe's.
And a disastrous double commit. Very lacking consistency in that circumstance. And, you know, it's not something they can't prevent. It's something they have prevented up until this point, but even with that 1 goal scored, it does kind of feel like St. Joseph's been on the back foot this entire match so far.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if they have any way to adapt, or if BSU's kind of just going to run away. And Instinct,
wow.
well, Danger actually finds it with a hat trick now.
Well, it was a beautiful follow-up by Danger to be sure, but Instinct really walked it into these, and look at that double commit bounce right in the middle. Danger with the love tap to make it happen. Unreal. And that brings us to 4-1.
Definitely showing off his game sense and his positional awareness there, Danger. Already being there, you saw it didn't really hang in the net for that long, despite how confusing it was. He was right there to put it in at the last minute and made a great play out of it.
He goes for it again, a little run it back for the hat trick there. Doesn't quite make it, and the ball goes awry. Instinct, wow, is able to follow it up. I don't even have time to talk about it. They are absolutely killing it.
Yeah, and a disastrous whiff from both Yes and Calvi. That's not something you can afford to let go by at this level of gameplay.
Unreal.
Boise State will punish that every single time. The double lift is just not acceptable.
Again, don't let the overlay fool you. Boise State is up 5-1. Gill looking to change those numbers, maybe hit double digits tonight. Comes soaring into the corner, but it's a quick save from Calvin and Parsnip. Yes, looking to follow that up, go offensive with it, and it happens. Parsnip, backed by Yes, gets a long shot goal right here from behind the turf line. All the way across, just clears right over Instinct and over Danger with an extra demo just for the flair. Look at the laser light show.
Yeah, and it felt like maybe Danger got caught out looking for a big boost there, but it could be a lot of different things that happened in the play. He could have been waiting on Instinct to get a touch of the ball. Maybe he didn't expect Instinct to get beaten the way that he did. Regardless of what happened, it still resulted in kind of an open net from BSU, and you never really want to see that happen. Kind of lack of consistency that I wasn't really expecting out of this team initially, but you got to hand it to them. Their offensive consistency has been on the prowl all game.
And we did talk about that earlier. If you get too comfortable on the offensive, you may be ending up with an open defense. Having a lot of people to cover the goal is important. And wow, Instinct with an absolute, that was a rough one there. Yes was not in position to be defending that ball, and it would have been clean, but look at this one. Instinct with the dribble absolutely denies Calvin and hands it down to the hood of Yes to roll straight in. That's rough. Bringing us to a 2-6.
A little bit of friendly banter in the chat there.
Yeah, it happens.
An unfortunate kind of own goal there from Yes. Just happened to be in the right place at the right time, but even without that one goal, he's got to start asking himself what's going on outside of the unlucky ones, because, you know, they were down 5-2.
Indeed they were.
Now we're seeing that BSU defense kind of have to show off for a little bit. But you notice it's never for too long. They do a really good job of finding each other at the midfield and making sure that they hit the ball with intent and they find ways out of their end in a concise and easy manner.
Yeah, intention and concision are keywords, I think, for that sentence. Being able to not just send it out, but to send it to something when you're getting it out of a position. Having a start and end for every shot with that intention is what makes the good the great. Danger looking to drive it out, gets a little bit skewed, and Yes is able to walk in on that. Had some defense coming up behind him, but we're just not in position to answer to that. Wow, look at those bumps just tossing Danger around, and Gill and Instinct coming in for it, not quite able. So Yes brings us to what I believe is a 3-6.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like as much as BSU offense has kind of been dominating, it feels like their defense is not quite there yet.
Yep.
To kind of force St. Joseph's down into a really choked spot yet.
Yeah.
Because it feels like BSU, when they get thrown on their side, oftentimes just kind of lets it go in, which is something that can definitely be prevented. But the same can also go for St. Joseph's, as you know, there's another game ahead of them at least.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing sloppy too early. Unlike playing sloppy, Danger had an exquisite thread of the needle there, just lacing it through two of the St. Joseph's University players. Gil looking to back it up with another one, gets refuted at the gates. Instinct wants another try, but it's not going to happen. Chips back out to the half, and Danger doesn't want it on his turf, not for a second. Gil to back him up, sends it over. Danger lines it up, but there's no follow-up, so Parsnips gets it with a little toss back and forth to Yes. Instinct sends it over. Calvin can't quite make it. Had all the prep time in the world, but came up a little bit short when Instinct dribbles it off the back and just dunks it on him, over him. Look at this play. Calvin ready with the boost, and it's 1-to-1 head-to-head, and Instinct walks away. Winning that 50-50 is a critical goal, bringing us to 3-8.
Yeah, and you gave Instinct far too much space there. He had so much time to do whatever he wanted with the ball. He could have gone for the pass off the backboard. He could have gone for the double like he did. He could have gone for the air dribble. He was just given far too many options and far too much time to do whatever he wanted with those options, and so the easy goal goes in.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like the more time I have to set up, oh, that was a nasty one.
Look at this pass from Instinct. He's like upside down and backwards. There are no danger. He goes into the air, then flies back down to pitch it towards his teammate, then backs up out of the way so his teammate can then take the shot at the open net.
Oh my goodness,
Dirty.
like high-speed unblock me. These guys were crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, if I had to make any comments about this game, I think all I would do is point towards our stats on the side. There's just no word at this point. I mean, the BSU stats run off of the screen and into oblivion.
Yeah, the UI was not ready for Instinct to be shooting that hard.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to remember after games like this that, you know, even though it was a disastrous first game for
Yes.
St. Joseph's, it's not something that they can't take themselves out of.
It sure
It
isn't.
is still just a 1-0 lead on that. And
Look at
just
those total shots.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Look at the shots.
Instinct time and time again trying to get them to double digits there. Again, do not be fooled by the overlay if you guys are fresh in. Clicking through the channels there, that is SJU down 3-9.
Yeah, and, you know, you got to be a little bit frustrated with that first game if you're St. Joseph. That's a normal human reaction. But at that point, you let it go, take this minute to talk it out, figure out what we need to do to make this work, and just adapt and move on from there. Because it's might as well have been the same thing as a 1-0 loss for them. Because a loss is a loss. So you have time to reset. You still have very much a chance in this game. We've seen bigger comebacks happen from better teams.
Definitely.
So.
And considering the length of a best of 5, they could throw away another one and still have a huge comeback and make it happen. So they're not out of the game, to be sure.
More than possible.
Yeah, they only have a few things to clean up there. It was better positioning. It was being ready for the strange aerial moves, and it was just keeping that goal closed. They had some good shots, and when they really played aggro and they really got a good hold on to BSU, they scored those 3 really solid, just rolled them right in. They didn't have to do anything tricky.
Yeah, and it felt like it kind of shifted completely as soon as they crossed into the BSU side of the field. They had the offense to do it, and they definitely had the ability to punish mistakes and all those open nets that we had from BSU. But it feels like, in addition to what you just said, they have to keep that game pace and like push it up 1 or 2 levels because they're being outpaced on every mark right now.
Yeah, I'm ready for SJU to kick it up a notch and bring it in a little bit tighter. Let's see if they can do it. Ooh, speaking of tight, look at that insta-goal by Instinct. He's trying to get home to dinner. Wow, a quick play goal.
Yeah, and honestly, this is exactly what I was just talking about, game pace. The difference here is Instinct was ready for that bounce before it even happened. So he was up for the shot, and Yes was kind of just going through the motions and like, I'll follow it this way, not even thinking about how it's going to bounce off the wall and move somewhere else entirely.
Calvin taking that 50-50, sends it up, but Danger skews it out with a little bit of a flip reset, drops it back down, not quite able to line up for another goal, but Instinct sets it up, Gil's a little bit wide for it, but he's able to keep it on his side, not for very long. Parsnip looking to take it back over, but we've got one ready for it. Instinct and Danger a little bit closer. Instinct's got to back up, and Gil also being driven. A little bit of a pass here, but Yes, so close to being ready for it. Calvin trying to dig it out, but there's a mid-air collision that takes Parsnip straight off the board. It does skew to their side, though, so they weren't punished too badly for it, and Instinct gets duped by Calvin there, threatening the demo. Deep into the goal here, we're looking at 2 people in. Try to trade some places here. Yes, getting in, ready for Calvin's tip up. Not going to get a lot of value out of it, though. In fact, Danger is able to dribble it off. Principles takes advantage of it, though, and sends it right in, and Instinct was not ready. That was a pretty solid play here. Good eyes being able to stop and see where that ball was moving. That was a huge play. Trying to roll right into that head up the wall and make it a 50-50 would have not been the move, so I like that slowing down.
Yeah, it was a punished mistake, to say the least, a well-punished mistake by SJU, but Gotta hand it a little bit to Danger with the fantastic pass to the enemies there.
Goodness.
But definitely not something that they need to worry about too much. Just play their game. Mistakes happen for both teams. Oh, just like as I was saying.
Wow.
Like, I mean, I can't say anything to make it sound like he couldn't have hit this.
Yeah.
It was right there. But that being said, like we said, you know this game. They still have chance.
They can.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot better. Look at this, 2-1 with about 4 minutes on the clock. I think they were fighting more uphill battles the last time, so making progress is all we're looking for. Instinct with a good dribble down to give it to Gil to set it up, but Danger's not there. Calvin gets in between him and takes it, and Parsnip just walks away with it. It was a great 3-man setup. Everything was there to have a beautiful 3-man play, but Calvin getting in the way and Parsnip walking in on that was beautiful. And they just get a free roll across. Not enough wave dashing can help you get all the way down to where Parsnip was ready for that.
Yeah, another punish mistake. I mean, anytime that they get crossed on the other end of the field and there's no defender, something wrong went down on defense.
It doesn't take a double or triple to commit to overcommit.
For sure, that being the name of the game so far for how SJU has been able to find the back of the net at all. But honestly, so
Instinct
close.
with almost a butter smooth glide into the net is jarringly stopped by SJU. They are putting their foot down. They brought it up to a 2-2. I thought it would take a little bit more adjustment time to make this happen, but SJU is serious about what's happening here, looking to try to even it out. Instinct ready to move it on in, hand it to Danger. Danger goes a little bit too wide, and it's back in the hands of Parsnip. Some dangerous hands for it to be in.
And it really, again, I can't say
that back
anything
post
about this.
activated a little bit too high, a little bit too fast. Got excited.
He just didn't hit
Just
it.
wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter that his position was kind of out. As long as he makes contact, he'll make up for it, right? But I feel like again and again, outside of that play even, I feel like Instinct gets the ball, he goes for something crazy off the wall or the ceiling, and there's no one to answer to him. So even if he does something wrong, it's a fantastic amount of pressure and a fantastic pass to his team. So the big thing for me right now for SJU is knocking down Instinct early, especially Instinct. But it's not to say that any of the other two aren't capable of the same thing. It's just that Instinct happens to be in the situation so that they're letting him get away with it.
Ooh, Danger was getting fancy with that one. Gil sweeps in to go for the real shot. Maybe a complicated fake out? I don't know. But they were able to dig it out, and Danger trying to come up for another one is denied again. Gil sends it back over. Man, Boise State just does not want it on the orange turf at all. Instinct with the backup. Flips back around, sends it back over. There's no one to follow up, so Yes gets a free shot down the lane, but it doesn't go anywhere. It goes sideways, it ends up midfield. Danger's able to pick it out of the box and send it right back over to the half. Gil to do the same, sends it to the goal, and it hits back post, and the follow-up doesn't happen, but there's one ready for it in the back that also can't make it. So close to bringing it 2-4, but it doesn't happen. They've got possession again, though. They've got another chance. Danger's ready to send it up, maybe up to Gil. Gil with the adjustment shot, sends it back to Instinct, and a beautiful drop in. Another 3 hit for another 3 hat.
A 3-man passing play. Danger with the pop up to Gil. Gil comes down and off the wall. Tap it right in front of Instinct, gets the perfect amount of run up. He can just take a free shot at the net. So hard to read those. That's another one of those plays where you gotta knock it down early. Because if you let a team do that, how are you supposed to tell where the ball's gonna go?
Yeah, when they control it like that, it's like co-op chess. You just can't play against that. They're thinking so far ahead. You've got to get it out of their hands early.
Or force them at least to make a play that's unfavorable for them. When you give them the time to make a pass or go for a crazy play, you basically might as well have just put them in free play. And
oh my goodness, Danger just swinging on the monkey bars, has an absolute playground of a field, an open field to play on.
Yeah,
look at this, just a beautiful setup, and they're walking the wrong way.
Yeah, and again, it feels like that pace of the game is not there. And what I don't mean by pace of the game is that they're not physically moving fast enough. It's that they're not thinking fast enough. They're not thinking, hey, this ball is going to roll into the front of our net. We should get to it. Instead, they're like, I'll grab boost first. Or whatever's going through their head. They have to make the adjustment. They have to think out, okay, where's this ball headed next? Because somewhere, sometime, we need to be in the way.
Oh, look at that. The follow-ups are so good. Everybody's eyes on the ball. Nobody presses triangle. They're watching that so hard and ready to move in on it. I feel like SJU showed us they had the ferocity and they had the ability to make some goals and to really roll some in, to find the back of the net, and they did it. They brought us up to a half there, and they were contending for the point, but now, a minute left on the clock to make 4 points, they've got to really fight uphill. Like Sisyphus rolling the rock in the next 3 maps if they want to make it out of here alive.
Yeah, definitely a lot of stress on SJU now, because not only have they gone 2 games of just kind of not having any control over what's going on, but they're having this game now where things are arguably falling apart even more, where it's not even just defensive mechanical mishaps anymore. It's we're not thinking about what we're doing enough. So arguably what needs to happen in between this game and the next is a big deep breath, take the giantest sip of water you can get, and to just focus your brain in on the play as much as you can and think about what's going to happen and how you can respond to it. Oh, and again,
Gil with a dunk.
no one is in the way. Oh, this is terrible.
We had an attempt, let's see it. Goes up for it, but just goes for the car instead of the ball, and it's not quite there. We had another one coming in contending, but just isn't there quick enough. And I know what you're saying about the pace of the game, because they're in a good position to start with, but to get up there and to see it earlier, I think Boise State just, their passes are so quick. They might be on silent comms and just playing absolute muscle memory at this point. The passes are so quick.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that they're moving really fast. And part of that is they're responding to the plays so easily because they have a plan in their head and they're paying attention to what's happening with the ball. And I'd argue that obviously SJU is paying attention as well.
They are.
But the issue is that they're just not making those decisions as fast, and they don't have a plan in mind when they get to the ball.
A quick last second slam by Yes, looking to at least get some extra goals, soften the blow here. But, almost got another one in, but Orange Team Boise State takes that one, bringing us to a 2-point lead, or 2-map lead on Boise State's turf. Look at this. Shots on goal equal shots in goal.
Yeah, and Instinct leading the way on goals again
goodness.
and shots. And that's again what I was talking about, is he has so much freedom over the game right now.
Yep.
Every time he has the ball on the wall or he has the opportunity to make a crazy play, they just let him. There's no one up to challenge it. No matter how many people are demoed or not, there's no one in the air knocking him down early or forcing him to give away possession, which is, at the end of the day, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Instinct is a huge player on that team. He's a huge contender for BSU. You can see by the stats how much offensive pressure he generates all on his own.
There is.
There needs to be at least some sense of urgency when he has the ball, that someone needs to get up there and force him to not do anything.
But it's not all solo plays. People are setting him up for the spike, and sometimes the SJU players provide obstacles in the way. They might not be as aggressive as we hope they would be, but they are enough to call in Danger and Gil, who are doing an excellent job of setting things up. We've seen some beautiful 3-man passes with flip resets in midair to just absolutely dunk it in, and you can't do that just Instinct. He is the shot maker and the last man on the chain a lot of the time, but we've seen a lot of just brilliant cooperation between all 3 players here that I've just been really enjoying.
Yeah, make no mistake, they're playing really well, and I'd argue that BSU is really playing towards that win con that I discussed earlier, where they're wanting to play their own game, and they're kind of forcing SJU into this spot where they're playing a lot of responsive gameplay, which is kind of what I talked about before, is BSU, when they get the ball, they have their own plan, they're doing whatever they want with it. They're going for passes, they're going for crazy stuff off the wall and the ceiling, and SJU is kind of just forced to try to catch up at best to these plays.
Well, let's get right into it. I know we alluded to this earlier. SJU still has a chance, mathematically speaking, to make this happen. And it looks like the aggression's starting off all right. Winning that 50-50 isn't always the play, though, because you do send it into the enemy hands. Looks like it's going to be on their side of the field with Gil and Instinct setting it up. Danger trying to get a good chip. Gil looking to dig it out. Might get a little bit of balance here. Plays it off the ceiling. It's a 50 for it, and it goes sideways. Instinct to saddle it back up. Oh, with a good bump. He's able to take it closer to the center, but it doesn't go far fast. Yes, trying to get something on it, but not a lot of ground, just kind of a bump. Calvin looking finally to send it back over to 50, and Instinct doesn't have a real option except for to disrupt the play, but Yes has a backup. Calvin doesn't need to touch it. He has a plan to send it in, but Gil takes it from him, and too many people are too far deep. Parsnip is able to take it out, but Instinct's ready on that last first man position, rotating through. Calvin again holding off, but Instinct just absolutely plays it off the top there. And these goals that come in at the top, they're too they're too far away and too quick for these, just second man rotating into third positions to take, or third move into first, really, where they're across the goal, they're in front of the goal, and they have to play back towards the goal to dig it out. And it's an uncomfortable position when Gil and Instinct are playing so high, just straight down into it.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with how you're referencing to the height of the play, because I've noticed very early on in this game that it feels like BSU, when they're playing on offense in this particular game, are spending a lot of time in the highest area of the field, closest to the ceiling even.
Oh, yeah.
Or a flip reset from Instinct, but you can see it comes from that same area. It feels like what they're doing is they're using their speed to their advantage to almost hold the ball in a big brother way above SJU and force them to either come up for something they're not going to be able to beat Instinct to, or Gil to, or Danger to, or they just get beat like that.
SGU's got a real battle to fight and a reverse sweep to be sure if they want to have a chance at taking home this ECAC placement. Parsnip looking solid, making the pace. Instinct comes to chip it on out. There's a lot of defense to get through, but he sure does. Just weaving through them. Oh my goodness.
And honestly, this is one of those goals that is a little unfortunate, but it's still the result of a double commit and two bad 50-50s in a row. It is technically a dunk, but at the same time, it's never something that you should say, oh, I had no control over that, because there were a lot of things that led up to the ball being there to begin with. And I mean, why were there two players there?
When you're going for two players, they shouldn't take up one card's space. If either one of them had jumped and the other had not, then you couldn't call it a fake out. They had the chance to make that happen, and a little bit of communication would have gone a long way there. Danger with a little bit of a bump to disrupt. Lids it to Gil, but Gil does get it stolen out from Calvin, but that puts Calvin in an awkward position to go against this other shot. So Parsnip's got to come up for it, and they send it right over both, and Danger comes in for a third one. It is shot after shot, and because of that, Danger catches another one with a nice little heart pump to finish the goal.
Yeah, Danger does a great job of keeping pressure there. Maybe not the shot he was originally looking for when it bounced off the bar, but he was already in the right position, and they're moving at a pace fast enough that Calvin didn't even have time to respond to it.
Yeah, yep. A good pass to Instinct to get a beautiful chip up, looking to follow in, but it's not given to him so easily. Looking to take it right down the wall here, maybe send it to the corner, but that is Gil's playground. Chips it up, and with a beautiful play off the ceiling, keeps bumping it, just playing over Parsnips, no chance. Danger to refill that bump, sends it up to him, and one last tap. Parsnip swiping it out, and it's a good play he did, because we had people lined up to take the smash. Speaking of which, Instinct able to jump right over people, and if Gil can fork it out underneath him, he takes another one. Oh, so sad to see the attempt. Let's see it again.
It was so good, though. Look at this fake from Instinct. He
beautiful.
uses his jump to push his car further into the ground to make it look like he was going to hit it, and then he just fakes. Gil comes and takes it using communication and just finds the open net, and there's no room at all for a blue defender in that net after that.
Having someone fake it out and then make the hit is rough, but it's embarrassing when one person can fake it out and the other one play underneath them and roll it right in under you.
Yeah, it was a fantastic play and a really, really good display of the grand amount of coaching that these players are getting, how well they've been playing, and how they've been using communication so well to take control of these games. Because even with all these highly mechanical, highly skilled players, it's going to take a lot of communication to separate out their play styles and spread them out along the field. And I feel like I haven't had to really even mention a single double commit so much with BSU this game.
No, even though they can play tight and they can play close, it's not so much about your position that makes it a double commit, but your momentum, which takes into account your position, but also the direction you're going and the intention of what you want to do with that. Calvin with a good one, makes a little bit of a pinch there, is able to throw in sideways, giving a point to SJU there. But no, you can play close without it being a double commit. And we saw that. There was by no means was that fake out and pump underneath a double commit. That was a meticulously articulated plan.
Yeah, it was surgically added.
It's clinical.
Yeah, it was a very impressive play, done with a lot of tact, dare I say. But I think we also have to hand it to SJU. I mean, they caught BSU off guard with that last shot.
Putting up a fight.
Yeah, I feel like Instinct in that particular situation, minus this goal, was kind of expecting it more for them to go for the pass, but he just shot it anyway. And here, this is, again, another passing play. I feel like they have so many passing plays. Sometimes even free jumping each other because they're so in sync with each other's play styles. Oh, and a great beat by Instinct.
Oh boy,
The pressure's already started.
Yeah,
and Instinct stole their boost that early. There's no one there to respond to that. And now Gil has all the pressure he wants. That was a little bit shady, but I feel like they might have been going for a pinch. But for the sake of that, make it leading it all. Let's say that's a double commit.
Danger able to take one. Calvin on the defense with no boost. He's got to get through and out of there, and because of it, leaves the goal open. Yes to it was just bad boost pathing, and they left a offender to be the defense when he was already behind the ball. Look at this. People are going the opposite direction to get the big boost in the corner.
Yeah,
and Gil just walks it in. Yeah.
He was shadowing the play way too close. I think he was expecting maybe Gil to. Honestly, I have no idea. He got way too close to that play to make any kind of save, and so he was thrown in an awkward spot. But gosh, you gotta wonder how much of it is SJU needing to go back to the drawing board, or how much of it is.
Ooh.
Gosh, that's a really good shot.
Yes, with a sneaky one. Yeah.
Yes has had some really good shots.
They
have.
have.
It to him.
Yeah, they have.
But you gotta wonder how much of it is them needing to go back to the drawing board, how much of it is just BSU's offense being a really,
on point,
really, dare I say, acidic force, because it breaks down these defenses so easily sometimes.
I was gonna say a well-buttered machine.
That works too. Danger's already keeping the pressure. And I feel like this game, an adjustment was made to some extent for sure, because Instinct isn't going for nearly as much solo play stuff, but he's definitely online. Because look, he's already off of, on the stats, he's already off. He's got
already off the page, yes.
He's got way too many medals going on. But I still have to hand it to Danger and Gil together. I mean, I feel like they are the duo of the night for sure.
It's just hat tricks for everybody.
So many passing plays started or ending on these two, and it's just really impressive to see these BSU players bring everything they have to the table, all of their practice and all of their mechanical skill, and bring it and let it manifest itself in these disastrous games, unfortunately, for SJU. Yeah, and as the clock winds down, there's not much else to say. A lot of the same stuff every game. And, you know, it's not like it wasn't earned by BSU at all. It was
definitely.
It's the result of a lot of
my goodness.
hard practice.
The result of so much practice.
But that's not to say SJU is out of here as well, because when these games are so close, when there's really just so tight in, like the games with Esports Towers earlier, if one team is just not having a good day, it's going to fall really fast.
Yeah.
Because it multiplies. It's exponential. And so, not to say that SJU couldn't come out here and swing a little bit harder another day and maybe give BSU quite the run for its money. I see a lot of talent, especially in players like Yes, but in all of them, really. They had a lot of really good opportunities and plays that they developed all on their own.
Yeah.
I just think BSU had what it takes today.
Yeah, we did see some quality competition from both players tonight, from both teams tonight. So that's about it. I believe that's all that we have for this match. So, yeah, I mean, do you think you have anyone for player of the game?
Oh, gosh. As much as Instinct had a lot of free time with the ball, I honestly feel like Danger was just doing a really good job of efficiently finding the back of the net over and over again. I was really impressed, and almost every time that he had an opportunity to score, it was going into the back of the net.
Yeah. It's hard for me not to just give it straight to Instinct. I do want to highlight Yes, though. He had some cheeky ones where he played it through, one or two players, and really sent it through. Let's see what we have here. And it's going to be Instinct.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised about that.
I'm not either.
With a great double tap right there. Multiple hat tricks throughout the series.
Definitely. I think if Gil had gotten an extra goal on that last one, I'm not sure, though, because the activity feed was off the roll, but I think we could have seen each player take a hat trick in one round.
Yeah, and I think with all this talk about Danger and Instinct, it's really hard to – it was really easy to forget about Gil, but I have no way to forget about Gil in this match because I feel like – there wasn't a single passing play or these
he wasn't a part of
midfield plays that he was not involved in. And just today, he just happened to not be on the end of those back and forths.
Well, Instinct, you are the Idaho Central player of the game. The player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Instinct, the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Excellent work. Well, anything you've got to say to BSU? Little congrats. Anything to say to SJU? Anything to say before we close it out with the top 5 for tonight?
Well, SJU, I feel like you guys have a lot of talent, and I feel like you guys can really go places. I was actually kind of impressed with some of the plays that came out today.
Yeah.
I feel like for BSU, you got to just keep playing your game, and I feel like no matter what happened here, you can't celebrate and you can't be sad for too long because it's just going to prevent you from getting better. So I'm really excited to see what both these teams do in the future, especially as I'm getting more into casting and excited to be here, and I'm excited to see what the teams do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Yeah, we've got 32 teams looking at us tonight. Well, not tonight, but 32 teams on the roster for ECAC. Don't pick a favorite too soon. They are all doing well, and BSU, keep running your stats. SJU, keep working on keeping those goals tight. So that is it. We have the last 5 coming to you from the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking into real time with more than 10 jobs offering a 20 grand bonus and your degree of choice paid for by the Idaho Army National Guard. They're the best team out there. For all of us here at Boise State Esports, thank you for joining us. Be kind, wear a mask, stay safe, drink lots of water. Good luck out there. You guys have a good night and come back for more Rocket League later. Against this other shot, so Parsnip's got to come up for it, and they send it right over both, and Danger comes in for a third one. It is shot after shot, and because of that, Danger catches another one with a nice little heart pump to finish the goal.
Yeah, Danger does a great job of keeping pressure there. Maybe not the shot he was originally looking for when it bounced off the bar, but he was already in the right position, and he was
lined up to take the smash. Speaking of which, Instinct able to jump right over people, and if Gil can fork it out underneath him, he takes another one. Oh, so sad to see the attempt. Let's see it again.
It's so good, though. Look at this fake from Instinct.
Beautiful.
Uses his jump to push his car further into the ground to make it look like he was going to hit it, and then he just fakes. They have to think out, okay, where is this ball headed next? Because somewhere, sometime, we need to be in play.
Oh, look at that. The follow-ups are so good. Everybody's eyes on the ball. Nobody presses triangle. They're watching that so hard and ready to move in on it. I feel like SJU showed us they had the ferocity and they had the ability to make some goals and to really roll some in, to find the back of the net.
As you can, and think about what's going to happen and how you can respond to it. Again,
Kill with a dunk.
no one is in the way. The one, this is terrible.
We had an attempt, let's see it. Goes up for it, but just goes for the car instead of the ball, and it's not quite there. We had another one coming in contending, but just got another chance. Danger's ready to send it up, maybe up to Gil. Gil with the adjustment shot, sends it back to Instinct, and a beautiful drop in. Another 3 hit for another 3 hat.
A 3-man passing play. Danger with
beautiful.
The pop up to Gil. Gil comes down and off the wall. Tap it right in front of Instinct, gets the perfect amount of run up. You can just take a free shot.
Welcome back to Boise State University's very own Game Pants Arena. I feel like I saw you guys all recently, so I'm glad to have you back. We just finished some Esports Tower, some more Esports Tower, a little bit of ECAC. Now we're hopping straight into NACE's ASAP as we can. I'm your host for the night, Greg Old Soul Smith, and with me on the desk I have, as per usual for tonight, Joe Tacky in the flesh. Here he is. Take a peek at our esports players right up on team, as well as Boise State playing off against San Diego State. You looking forward to it? What have you seen so far tonight that you want to keep at the forefront before we dive in?
Well, I mean, if sticking with the theme of the Esports Tower, offense.
Yep.
Lots of offense. So
Lots
much
of
offense.
And that's what we had in Boise State in the ECAC as well. Very offensive and, wow, just right in on the goal. So many combo plays. Here we are, jumping straight on into it. We're coming in a little bit late, and wow, that's the time to do it. Free York taking one on to Boise State, putting us at a 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, already off to a good start here for Freeor, but it's a little bit of confusion in the chat. Looks like this time around we're going to have Gil, Lions, and Instinct. So Lions is a new player, not necessarily to the team, but new to this specific night. And what I really like watching about watching Lions play is that he's a very good all-around player. He's got the good mechanics, he's got decent rotations, he's good on defense, and he's got something he can do progressively on offense really well as well.
Which is important to have, and we talked about that earlier with Instinct. He was doing an excellent job being the shot caller and kind of backed off a little bit later on.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. So I'm really excited to see what shoes Lions chooses to fill this time around. Now that I believe he's taking the place of Danger.
Indeed.
And Danger, who was such a prominent goal scorer for the last series, it kind of makes me feel like maybe we're going to see an aggressive Lions this time around.
Yeah, indeed. I would love to see it. Filling the shoes of Danger, those are big shoes to fill. Do you think he can do it from what you've seen of Lions in the past?
Well, the thing is, I'd have to say the exact same thing if Danger filled the shoes of Lions this time around. He was reverted.
That's fair.
Both these players extremely talented, and I'm really excited to see what adjustments are made, or if adjustments are even needed to be made. And I'm excited to see what kind of opponents we got. San Diego State has kind of a reputation for being one of those really powerhouse teams as well. And regardless of that, BSU is still holding their own at only a 1-2 deficit so far. Yeah,
a very, very small hole to dig themselves out of, but not a very comfortable position to be in. No fret no longer. Lions takes one for the team and puts us to a 2-2 here at 0 points in this best of set.
Yeah, and we can see we're already more than halfway through this game, sitting at 2:08 left on the clock. So more than halfway through the game, and only 4 goals scored is a massive tempo change from the last series.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to wonder a little bit if that's maybe going to be something that messes with Boise State, or if it's going to be something that helps Boise State. And that right now it looks like it's helping them to have that positive momentum from the last series, taking it into this series, finding that early lead. Well, I guess a mid-game lead at this point. We jumped in a little late.
Definitely a serious energy to be bringing in because, wow, last game they were so intense and they really brought the heat. Love to see him keep it going with just barely under 2 minutes on the clock. Boise State leading 3-2 in this best of 5. A long battle ahead of them, but I think they've got it in the pocket. Dog with a disagreement coming right off the bat, a 50-50 to the goal. Look at this. Chips it up, and the follow-through is there. Instinct was just not quite on it, and Alliance was not ready for it. Soars through, takes that splash goal to a quick equalizing 3-3. Less than 5 seconds to do it.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a disaster there for Boise State, because Instinct just managed to not quite managed to get a touch on the ball and kind of made it a little bit easier for Dog to find the back of the net, but it was a little bit of just a weird kickoff. Those ones that are just barely out of your range of motion, and just barely over your head, kind of make you feel like you might be messing up, when in reality it sometimes is just weird 50-50.
Yep. Well, let's see if they can reply. Wow, Frigor looking to get that security goal with the hat trick, bringing us up to a 3v4. Boise State down a point, but it's okay. They were comfortably down a point just 2 points ago. So let's see if they can take care of this, bring it back up to the half, maybe find a golden goal. A minute and 30 is no problem.
Oh, plenty of time on the clock for even 3 or 4 more goals. But I have to argue that maybe Boise State is not quite warmed up with the defense after the last series because there wasn't a whole lot of defense played. And you're seeing a lot of weird mistakes, like Gil just not quite getting a touch on the ball, or Instinct not quite getting a touch on the ball. They're so close to making these plays, but it's possible they just need that little bit more time of warm up, or they're not going to get a grasp on it. This game, San Diego's going to have to come away with this one, but we'll have to see what happens. Both teams have plenty of time to adjust. As you can see, still on game 1 of the series, plenty of Rocket League left to play.
Oh, Lions with an attempted send right in, but unfortunately it bounces off and goes to Freeor. The goal was open, and Freeor, man, look at that, pushing the limits, the UI to the limits of the screen here. If he gets any more saves, demos, shots on goals, or goals, he will be he'll be playing off the page here. He's definitely someone to keep their eye on for sure. He is ready with a lot of it. Dog backing him up to take off that save. Dog coming in for another one, gets a clean demo off, sending it to Freeor, decides not to take it, gives it to Dog, sets up for an after. Dog looking to chip it to him so he can take it, but it goes a bit shallow, so it goes to Gil's hands instead. An Instinct to play off it, sends it center for the goal, and only 22 seconds left on the clock. If it wasn't that one, it might not be any. All Boise State has to do is make 1 point, and all Lamp has to do is prevent it. So he sends it down the field back to Freeor, and it's looking rough. We may play in some zero time if Boise State wants to walk away with this first point, or at least a golden goal chance to make it happen, but Lamp doesn't want to see it happen. Sending it down to the floor with some help from Freeor. They may be able to close it out here, and sure enough, goes way off onto the green, looking for first point to San Diego State.
Yeah, and honestly, a really tight game, but overall, it kind of felt like Boise State gave up a lot of pressure simply on some mistakes. And I feel like if they clean it up, we're going to see a much closer game.
And I feel like you can interpret that just looking at the scores there. I know they're gone now, but Boise State had more shots on goal. They had more ball possession, which means what's happening to be losing those goals, to have more possession but lose more goals means the other team's working more effectively. So their shots were getting a lot more use per shot out of it, and that just means a weaker defense for Boise State. And I think what you're saying about them being warmed up and heated on the offense and being ready, but not having that defense warmed up is a real problem that we could be looking at. But do you think that they can warm it up fast enough and be up to snuff and ready to take it out in the next 4 rounds?
Well, I always have faith in this team. I always have faith in every team that steps up to the plate here against or with us. But so it's going to be a little bit of an observation game on how the second game goes. Observing a little bit of what's going on in the chat, seems like we might be having some ping issues as well from some players.
Sure.
So that could be an implement a little bit of a harder spell onto BSU.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll have to see.
A problem that we can tend to have with home games gone live. Instinct looking to drive it out of the corner there, set it up to middle, but Lamp takes it a step further and sends it to the goal. Lions with a nice nudge from the corner, sending it out to the side. Someone ready to receive gets demoed entirely, and Gil and Instinct just hand it back and forth to send it down a little bit wide. Gil with a good rebound to set it up, but he only sets it up for Dog and Freeor underneath. The absolute scoop. Very impressive, but it doesn't get very far, so Freeor is ready. Oh, Gil steals it out from under him, and Dog is already there in the positioning. It seems like at this high-level play, everywhere you send it, someone is already ready for it. People are just reading so far into the future for these.
Yeah, and Freeor definitely the player to watch out for after his amazing performance last game. And you can see BSU is already dialing in on those passing plays that they were playing so well before with SJU. And even here, Gil getting the pass, but deciding that he can't do anything on his own, is trying to bait out a couple defenders maybe, and then look out for another pass of his own.
Yeah.
Instinct will be bumped all the way up the wall. Definitely not what you're looking for as BSU on offense, because when one player gets bumped like that or taken out of the play for that long, it makes it hard to commit more than one other player up the field to actually make a play happen, because if that play goes awry, then there's no one back.
To be sure. Lions and Gil trying to co-op this one, but they know it's already going back to their side, so Gil rushes over an Instinct, ready to accept on the other side, going back to offense. Dog with a quick 180, not quite quick enough, and Lamp coming in for it, drives just on top of Instinct to let him get a good goal from underneath. Let's see this replay. Lamp already sees what's happening. It's going in for it. Dog trying to get that, but all he gets is a good angle to watch.
Yeah, great passing play from BSU. Good recognition from Instinct that all he has to do is get a wheel on the ball because the net is open. Good communication, because from that angle, with ball cam on, you really can't tell, right?
Nope.
So his team has to be able to communicate to him as, just take the shot. It's open. It's open. So really good communication on that end. But honestly, Freeor is still looking scary as he moves down the field. San Diego State are not willing to give up this game yet, not willing to take this game series to a tie.
No, they are not, but Boise State will fight them for it with a 1-point lead. We're already halfway through the match here at 2 minutes 50 seconds. And wow, what a pace change. We had already 4 balls in the net at about 250 on the first round. What do you think's changing here? Do you think that we've got a team that's really accommodated to a more defensive stance?
I think a lot of it is a development of a more mutual respect, but honestly, I can attribute both sets of goals from both teams last game a little bit to the BSU offense, because while they're being more offensively minded, they're also opening the door for a lot of those goals to be scored on them, right?
Right. More offense can mean a higher goal game, and you just want to hope that in your favor. Wow. Finally, last time they tried to set up for that backboard play, it didn't quite come in clutch, but they did a little run it back, and they made it happen this time. Instinct with a good pass to the... Oh, and Dog just goes underneath it. A nice little jump could have made it happen, but it is not there.
Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting situation to be in now, because we're only 6 seconds off where we took a pause last time, and I noticed the time.
Yeah.
And we've gone from essentially what was, I believe it was 2-2 or 3-3? I think it was 2-2 at this point in the game. But now it's only 0-2, and so the pressure is kind of the same for BSU, but the difference is that their defense is holding the line this time around. Freeor is not being allowed so much space that he's allowed to run away with games. Plays like that, like Lions right there, cutting down a good passing play and a progression from Freeor really allows them to open up all sorts of plays and force San Diego State to do something more with the ball.
Lions with the good, ready for the defense. Speaking of ball cam, man, Dog will always be there to swipe it out in front of you if you are not paying attention. There's another one with a good goal for it. Man, Dog is always just right on top, and if you don't press triangle every once in a while, he will sneak up on you. Here it is again. Gil with the backflip looking to take it, and it was almost good positioning, but Dog just went a little high. A nice little rebound off that rail, and it goes in. San Diego State bringing another point up. They've got a minute and a half, 90 seconds to make a goal and lead it to half, or make another 2 or 3 and take a point and put themselves in the match point. So can they do it? Let's get in.
Yeah, definitely a good shot from Dog earlier. I think Dog is honestly filling the role of Dr. Electric from earlier, because he
was.
Yeah, or Mr. Electric, because he's definitely been that silent killer in the Fennec this game. As much as Freeor has been racking up accolades on the side of our screen, we can see
my
that
goodness.
even in situations like this, Dog is finding a way to create offensive pressure, even if it doesn't always mean goals are scored. He's causing BSU to really think about what they're doing and taking these really, really precise and hard to save shots like the last one.
Yep. In a 3-man team, you can't say, oh, great, now we have 3 shot makers. No, everyone has to be filling a different position, whether that's on the field or in the pressure. And Dog definitely finds his place there, coming up and sweeping for it. Lamp with a little bit of a prevention, just being safe there, is going to send it over to Freeor with a smooth shot right through, and that was rough to watch by Instinct here.
A hesitation. He thought maybe he could be able to get that rebound off the backboard, realizing he was beat too late, falling back to the ground and taking a panic touch to the corner, but San Diego State already ready for that, making the touch and just shooting it straight on net. Instinct handed them the ball.
And what a critical handover, considering we are now at 2-2, deciding whether we move on to match point or a full tie. What a change the next goal is going to be in only 30 seconds to make it happen. Let's see who can get it. It's already in direction of the goal, but we already have all 3 players posted up to accept it. Dog with some aerial moves going to take it over, but it's too much time, and Lions doesn't want it there. A little too close for comfort, but that's all right. They comfortably dig it out. Instinct and Gil looking to take it towards the goal, but it's not quite there. If it touches down after 5 seconds, then we're looking at a golden goal strike finish here. 2-1. Instinct looking to keep it up in the air. Freeor doesn't want it that direction, and it's overtime for sure. Let's see if this 50-50 leads to a quick equalizer, or if we see a drawn-out finish. And wow, already almost no movement. We could be here for a minute. Dog looking to set up, take it out the corner, playing deliberately towards Lamp with a good setup. Not going to be there. Gil takes it right from underneath him. Set up to Instinct. Instinct has a lot of opposition from Freeor, and he knows it, so he backs up, gets ready for the defense, dashes for the 180. Lions looking to keep it on that side, but man, that defense is there. Gil trying to scoop it back out. A little bit of a back pass, but keeps it alive. Freeor continuing it, sending it over, but the aerial play is almost matched by Instinct, but it's not going to be. It's a good thing Gil was posted in the corner, because now he's got a lot to fight. Dog goes for the fake maybe and doesn't actually shoot on goal, so now it's Lamp who's got it. Lions to send it back to Lamp, but it's not going to be there as Gil chips it up. Lamp ready to accept, goes a little eager, and it could have been there, but the shot goes wide. Now it's Lions to center it for Gil. Gil sends it straight in, and it dives. Gil, an excellent play, a beautiful three-person setup, takes that golden goal, and look at this. A great setup. They've already got Instinct ready for the backboard just in case Dog chips it out.
And a heads-up play from Lions there. He gets the pass off to his teammate and realizes, okay, the only thing standing in between the way of a goal here and a goal here or a save here is me. All I have to do is drive up, get in the way, turn off ball cam, ram him a little bit, and kind of just force the opposition to find the back of the net.
Now, deep in overtime there, we still saw more ball possession and more shots on goal from Boise State. I still think that they could maybe up the defense a little bit more, considering that the opponents took those 2 goals pretty effectively.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I think you definitely have to watch out for Dog on the opposite end of the field for them. Dog has been the type of player who, even if he can't make a perfect pass, he's going to try to find a way to take an awkward shot and force you to give his team some length. And so I really feel like the name of the game on that is cutting it down early and playing some really solid defense, because they clearly can believe their offense is more than enough.
Yeah. Here it is, Lions getting ready for a prep, sends it to himself via Instinct. It's not quite going to be there, and Dog prevents Gil from getting it in. Instinct with a run it back, goes wide again. Look at that defense, preventing Lions to get an easy shot in. He goes for it anyways, and Freor takes it out from him. But he sets it up for Gil, and Gil sees it ahead of time, goes sailing in blind, and makes it no problem. Wow, so many setups. Like, it feels like they're playing wall ball here.
Yeah, Freor went for a panicked shutdown of that play. He knew that somebody has to get up and stop that play from happening. But unfortunately, he pinches it off of himself with Lions and puts it in a spot where the defender can't get to it, and Gil can find the back of the net.
Yeah, admittedly, if Gil wasn't there, that panic shutdown may have shut them down, but they're just ready on the back always. Dog looking to disrupt a little bit here, followed up by Freor, sending it up, and we've got one ready to accept, though. Freor, going into that corner. Gil with a close save. Lamps to send it back to the side, though. Instinct is ready again. Lions posted just in case. He's able to send it right over the nose of Freor. Freor does get a little tip onto it, but Instinct is ready. Lamps is a good reply, sending it back into the corner, and a good clear from Dog, sending it way back here. Fast enough that Lions isn't able to keep it. A good center for Lamps, and Lamps sends it straight down, but Freor destroys the own goal. Oh, that is rough. It almost went straight through the 2 of the BSU players crossing paths there. That could have been one if Freor didn't come diving down. Maybe he thought it was going to go a little bit higher, but Instinct now flirting with the end of the goal there. Lamp soaring past, getting ready for the offensive push here. A good lineup has got to come in if he wants it, but Instinct doesn't want that to happen, so he slows it nice down toward the side. Throws it over Lamp. There's not a lot of option to get it out here because Freor is ready to take it, so Instinct has to smooth back on the other side, but Gil is ready to keep it there. Backs up against it. Lions with a bit of a back pass to Instinct, sends it over, and that bumping preventing Dog from getting it. Lamp is able to drive it out, though. Instinct with a double bounce off the wall sets it up, but it's a smooth clear to the other side, and a good thing Gil was ready for it. Freor looking to send, but it's very wide, and it goes free to Lions. Dog with the reply is able to set it up for Lamp, but Instinct is already ready. I feel like the Boise State defense is getting much better. It feels like every time someone sends it a place, and I said it before, someone else is waiting for it. It doesn't matter either's team. Oh, except for that one. I spoke way too soon. Little caster curse on that. Might have been my bad. That was an open goal. Freor sending it down. Gil was the last shot here, and he knew it going for that jump, but Freor with the last second boost flip is able to just spoiler it straight over him.
It looked like Gil had faith in Instinct's bump in that manner, but it looked like the bump didn't quite shift Freor enough, and it didn't demo him, and it looked like that was kind of what they were banking on, and it just didn't quite work. And demos can be a little bit shaky in this game from time to time on the logistics, but regardless, we weren't prepared for the worst case scenario, which is the job of the third man. The third man's title is prepared for the worst case scenario. So still something went wrong with that play involving BSU, and it was a great punish from San Diego State.
Freor looking to center it, maybe for Lamps. Dog looking to hold it over, but it's not going to be there. It goes too far sideways. Freor taking it back. Dog might take this. Freor looking for a little bit of boost. All fresh for the fight, is able to get a good defense with Lamp. Gil looking to drive it in, gets abrupt stop from the 2. Gil back ready again, goes in for another sail, maybe a set for Lions, and Lions takes it. And an excellent play there. Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think both goals this game have been passing plays of some kind. And again, I have to point out Gil was involved in all of them.
Yeah, no, Gil is definitely doing well. We don't get to yell his name very often because he really plays consistently and smoothly. And right now, he's got the most in the activity feed out of all the 6 players on the team.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. And even if you look, you can see we have 2 goals scored, an assist for Gil, so that's 1, and then a goal for Gil, so that's the other. And I think it's really important to notice that even if a player isn't scoring the goals all the time, how much of an impact at higher elos a middleman or a midfield player can play.
And I mean, especially when you see so much passing, it is absolutely it's hard to attribute a goal to any one person. You're just the last person in the chain that got lucky with hitting on the weakest link in the defending chain, because if you don't hit it, the guy behind you needs to, and the guy behind him needs to, and then it's your turn again. So it becomes, at such a high level play, becomes such a cooperative game.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. So it's really interesting to see BSU really find their comfort zone. It seems to be straying away from the solo plays necessarily beyond making pressure, and more working towards using solo play mechanics like air dribbling and backward reads to create opportunities so that the goal is just easy.
Gil with a good send, but Lamp is ready for it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, if the goal is super easy for the striker to score, then the passers did their job.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's all about setting up for other people. If you try to take it straight in, wow, speaking of which, a little backboard pass to Freeor gets another goal. I believe that was the equalization, so it's a tight play right here. Yeah, look at that.
No
Lions
one there
was
to
just not
get
ready.
off the backboard.
Instinct was too low. San Diego State bringing it up and into 2 against 2 with 35 seconds last on the clock. We've already had an overtime just for the first point. Let's see if we get another one or if we can get a quick goal from either side. Wow. Just playing footsie with the goal there. Gets real close. A good demo. Gil looking to drive it in, but 2 are ready in front of him. Lions passes it up right over Gil. Gil's in the ready in case this goes awry. And there's Instinct looking to take it from Lamp. Everybody's got their man, and the 50-50s are on. Gil finally alone is able to send it up over Freeor, and he's looking to take it. It looks like we're staring in the eyes of a nice overtime. If this chip doesn't happen, which I doubt it will, Lamp looking to keep it alive. It goes down. Lions with the last-minute send, but here it is, overtime. 2-2 in the best of 5. Who will take the first match point? Who will take the upper hand? Gil winning that 50-50 and going pretty deep into it. Got me excited, but it's back into the blue turf and in the blue hands. Instinct and Lions looking to co-op this into the corner. Dog looking to drive it out. Dog goes up for it, and Instinct's ready to accept. Freeor steals it from him, though, but doesn't have a good position to walk it anywhere else, so he relies on Dog, who sends it high because of Gil's real wedge in front of him. Lions then has the chance and an open goal to go for it, but Freeor, just bumps, and Lion takes it, bringing us 3-2, and the second point, putting Boise State in match point position. The upper hand as we come to a close in the best of 5.
Just could not quite get in the way of Lions there. Forces a good goal. And what's really interesting to me is you can see, again, the total shots, but almost feels like the boost and side control is almost moving a little bit more towards the even end as we play more. So that's either Boise State's defense is getting a little bit better, or the San Diego State offense is getting a little bit stronger. It's really hard to tell. But what's really kind of funny at this point is how married both teams seem to be to the 2-2 games at this point.
They are. And it can be like that in the comps. And I know that so much of esports is a mental game. And when you're starting off, if you have this mindset of there was a last 2-2 and it went to overtime, and there was a 2-2 and it went to overtime, when you get that first goal, you start thinking, oh, they're halfway to where they were last time. And you start gauging things like we did. Oh, we're at this point on the clock. They were about here last time. Where do we need to pace that? So we may see 2-2s all night as players amp up or smooth out for the long game their play style and their pacing depending on where we are with that metric. But at the same time, you also do want to just crush it in, see some double digits on zeros. So.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like if it happens again, San Diego State, if they're not very mentally solid, have to feel like, okay, it's happening. Like, we've seen this happen twice now.
PTSD for the overtime flash from Gil.
And that's not even a slight on San Diego. It's something that I've even dealt with. It's like going 2 or 3 games of ranked in a row, losing at the same goal. It's something that you have to work through mentally. like you said, so much of esports is a mental game. So
It
much
really
of
is.
competing on anything is a mental
Oh,
game.
it really is.
So that
I've had
battle is uphill.
so many nights where I'm just supposed to go to bed, but I don't want to end on a loss, and it just leads to 13 ranked match fails in a row. So it really is a mental game, and being able to dig yourself out of that grave, fighting this uphill game. Let's see if San Diego State cannot get just a goal ahead and bring themselves to a match point tie.
Some good defense from Boise State so far, not really letting San Diego State have a lot of leisure in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of being in the way of everything, not letting things develop to begin with, not letting the scary situations happen.
Yes, yeah, and we talked about that earlier where you can say, yeah, they had a position that I couldn't get. Oh, that was close. And the follow-up close as well. Goodness. Oh my gosh, that is just dangerous. Lions so close, fighting it out of this goal. And sometimes it feels like they made the goal just a pixel smaller, just for you. Freer fighting in, but he's got two in front of him. He demos one, but Lions is ready to follow it. Wow, they just absolutely corralled it in there, just pushed it straight forward. Freer had no chance. Full boost from that last corner. Doesn't have enough. Gets one, but can't bump it up. And there's the first point for Boise State, though they, almost lost it 3 times in a row in the mouth, in the key of their own goal. It's coming down to the wire here at this match point. Best of 5 for ECAC, and Freer doesn't want to see it, sends it straight back to the tie with an instant goal. And man, these quick equalizations, they're possible, they're probable, they're happening. Freer with a smooth roll right in brings us back down to a 1-1, and the valiant efforts of Boise State last round almost seem just disrupted.
It almost looked like Lions was trying to go for one of those 50-50s at the kickoff where you kind of force it to go behind you into a teammate, but it did not. He got kind of under it, so it chipped up instead, and it made it just really hard for Gil to read off the wall. And that's not necessarily slander at any of the players in particular, but it's just one of those plays that if it doesn't quite work out, it goes very badly.
Yeah, that's the intrinsic gamble you take with the back pass. It is advantageous to have it on your own turf and have a 3-man push towards the goal, but it's rolling in with wrong momentum. Speaking of which, Lamp is able to curb it right out of his own spot. It does get sent back though, so Fayor, backed up by Dog, is ready to accept it. Lamp with a nice little tap looking to send it closer to the goal, but there's no chance. Lions is in a great position to take it and keep it out of Fayor's hands. Dog with that absolute sweep from behind time and time again, takes it back in, and he's almost ready for it. And the double commit leaves it open for a second, and he thought about it. I could see him thinking about it. Gil and Lions about to dig it back out, pass it back up to Gil, but it's not going to happen. Instinct steals it from Dog, preventing that quick goal. Fayor. Dog looking to send it back up into the goal. Gil got to dig it out of that corner.
Very close. The midfield's definitely been a point of contention with this game. And it's kind of interesting because it feels like the pressure from San Diego State is starting to be felt by BSU, because lots more double commits than we saw in the first series for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, things are getting a little bit intense as we get closer to the halfway point here.
Have to agree. And it feels like Dog is definitely starting to feel himself for sure. He's going for a lot of these weird dunks, a lot of these solo kind of passing plays. And so it's really interesting to see these players kind of develop as they start to figure out what each team is capable of and what the feel is for tonight.
Definitely. Dog with a quick momentum change, taking it right out of Fierre's palms, sends it way back over, and Gil in the corner with a nice setup to Dog. Fayor looking to take on and capitalize that, but Instinct doesn't want it to happen, so he sends it back over to the 50. Looking to curve this in. He's not in a great position, and there's not really anyone set up for it. Fayor with a quick 180. Doesn't get a lot of money from it, though, so Gil sends it right over, and Dog ready to accept that and send it to Fayor, trying to chip it over, but it's just not got the forward momentum, and neither did Fayor. He falls out of the sky, and the ball goes slowly on towards back. The blue goal. Lamp has got to be there for the defense, but Gil, playing him twice for it, is able to send it sideways. Fayor looking to take that right out of the side, free it up into the corner, but Gil is just ready for it, threatens it, and it goes to the corner. In the corner again, Lions is able to chip it out, get a nice read up to it, but Instinct is too far away, and Dog jumps up in the middle. Another snipe from Dog right out of people's hands. Fayor takes it in that 50. Instinct chipping it on the side. We're not seeing a lot of action, mostly pass back and forth as we see people get real offensive here, trying to prevent this overtime play, but it looks like it's going to happen unless Dog can have a nice smooth move here, and Lamp takes it.
just given far too much space.
Oh
in
my
this
goodness.
play. Nobody on Dog. He can flick to the backboard. He can flick into the net. He can flick to Lamp. Too many options.
Lions was
much
too
time.
close for him. Should have went for the demo. 4 seconds. Can Boise State make a goal and push this to overtime?
Very close game.
Very close.
We're
Very
going
close.
to a tied series now.
We are in a tied
Look at the
series
shots.
so far. And yeah, look, San Diego State absolutely just pulled it out. Look at that change. Boise State, it looks like 2 of our characters were just deleted. Instinct, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of team play still goes into all of that,
Oh,
obviously.
definitely.
But like I was saying before, those double commits could be a symptom of the San Diego State offense kind of laying in that pressure that Boise State has to kind of figure out a way around now. It's Rubik's Cube that they have to solve next, right?
Yeah, yeah. We are effectively in a best of 3 now, right?
Yes.
Because I recently found out that we are in a best of 7, which means this 2-point tie just flattens the board out. We're looking at a typical NACE best of 3, which doesn't happen very often, but these teams both have been fighting head-to-head very intensely, and we've seen them accommodate for each other. So now we're going to see who gets into the match point position first. San Diego State playing off against Boise State. Another 5 on the clock.
The card change from Lions, not usually something that's that important, but sometimes it's a symptom of something else feeling off, but it shouldn't make that big of a difference in Lions gameplay. Cars don't tend to matter, especially when switching from Fennec to Octane, which are relatively the same car. But we could see a playstyle change that comes with it, is the main point with Lions, and I'm interested to see if the strategy changes or if that was I have nothing to say other than they missed an open net, because that bump was great.
That was, yeah. I know we talked early on about Lions filling several roles. Do you think this Fennec Octane switch is maybe alluding to him not only looking for a different play style, but trading a play style with Giller Instinct?
I don't necessarily think it's that. I think if I had to guess, it's more so that he is feeling kind of the graphic of the Octane makes more sense to the hits right now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can switch between cars that have the exact same hitbox because just one has a placebo effect that day.
Yes.
As someone who's a very placebo player constantly,
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. But so sometimes it can help shift confidence to some extent, or it's just you weren't feeling the look of your car. And if you have to stare at a car that you don't like that day, it's kind of, it doesn't make it any easier. It's more distracting than anything else.
I hear you.
And as you can see, he chose the Octane look where it's just completely just bland, which is definitely a popular car.
Yep. No, I hear that. A lot of times I'm having a good day in Valorant and I just got to switch the Wii Fit board to keep things fresh.
Oh, definitely.
Ooh, almost was able to dunk it in right there. A little bit of play with that top rail. Not going to get a lot of value from it because Lamp and Co. on the San Diego State were up and in the teeth of it to take it out. Speaking of which, Dog, the silent killer, an absolute ninja with a van, takes it right out from him. Lamp looking to help out the same, but it's not going to happen. And the entire Boise State roster, minus one, just got demoed, is going to start forcing it forward, beginning with Lions, chipping it up. Dog on the accept has got to drop it back down center. Ooh, Lamp tried for it, but it didn't happen. And Gil with a bit of a back pass. Feor's looking at it, sends it over one, but Instinct is ready. Takes it out before it can hit that ever so dangerous back post. Feor wants it back over there, though, so he sends it to Lamp to get a chip, but Gil is ready to fork it over. A little close, but he's able to make it happen now. It's in Instinct's hands if he can, but he can't. It goes wide. Luckily for them, it didn't go... It went a little too wide and hit that corner instead. Instinct and Gil are looking to drop it into the goal here, but Lamp is ready. Almost a good bump to make it happen, but a little bit too slow. Feor trying to take it back to the middle, to that goal. Good setup, goes out to nobody, so Instinct has it all to himself, except for Dog looking to take it. Gil ready to follow it up, goes real wide. Nothing over there but blue, so it tips back up over him. Lions in the aerial, trying to keep it on that side, but so is Dog, and this almost just table tennis between over the line, between the two teams, not really getting into the key of the goal, not seeing a lot of shots, trying to dig it out of this corner, a lot of mid-air collisions. It's getting a little messy. Dog going high, trying to send it down. It's not there. There's no forward push. A push comes from Free, but it's high. Freeor looking to drop it down, not going to happen. Goes sideways again. Lions trying to dig it out. Gil with the setup might be able to get a good setup, but it goes back. He's really came in offensive at San Diego, trying to keep it on this side, but they just can't make the offense. They can keep it on the turf. They can get it close to the mouth, but actually making the shots on goal have been proving difficult. It seems like they can clear it out, but they clear it just into 2 defensive players who can then set up for another clear, and it's been happening for both teams. We're going very defensive here, but I'm not seeing a lot of shots straight onto the goal. If ever they go wide, they go high. They're not ready to be played up on. Here might be a good setup if Instinct can get down to it. Oh, so close, but it's a little wide.
Yeah, and it feels like with every single game, these games have gotten less and less goal-based.
Yeah, they have.
A lot less. Ooh, I was about to eat my words. A lot less goals being scored in both games, regardless of the shots taken. So it feels like these defenses are starting to time each other up a little bit, starting to round out all the bumps in the road. And what a perfect time to figure it out, right? When we're already tied, so we're basically playing a best of 3.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like nothing changed almost.
Speaking of nothing changed, we are currently at an all-time record for minimum goals, 0-0. As soon as this hits the ground, there it is. We're looking fresh into overtime for your Lions, Lamb, Gil, Instinct, Dog. Who's going to take it? Who is going to make this? Ooh, Dog sending it right over Instinct with a rough start. Lions is able to dig it right on out, but it goes to Lamp. Instinct was ready for it, but he just can't reach. Dog with a nice bump. Not quite. Lamp tries to get that bump, and it goes wide again, and Instinct and Lions are ready to set it up for each other and send it down. Freeor sees right through their plan and sends it back to the half. Doubles up on it and sends it over to the corner, but guess who's in the corner? Boise State looking to dig it on out. There's no chance. Freeor going up for the drag. He's a little bit too slow considering that bump from the Boise State, so Lamp's trying to chip it out. Gets a good flex. Lions is a little bit too far to respond, so Freeor coming up. Scoops it pretty aggressively, so it doesn't go very far, very fast. Instinct has a chance to take it if Dog weren't in the way. Freeor looking to drop it back down. Dog playing with the net, but he's too far off, and Gil was too ready, so he gives it to Instinct. Instinct can't quite tap it before Freeor is able to ride it over. Lions just watching Lamp and Dog send it over to his own goal. They keep clearing it to the right side, but it's just not got the precision to get real shots on goal here. They keep clearing it into the enemy play, and the setup for defense has been immaculate, and we've seen so much ridding the ball from other players and so many good steals, but it seems like they're nearsighted plays.
Yeah, I mean, it almost just feels like both teams are kind of tentative. I'd argue that San Diego State feels a little less tentative. They're going for a little bit more risky stuff. But BSU, I gotta hand it to them. As much as they haven't had side control for most of the game, their defense has been able to hold up with that, right? They haven't been scored on too much, obviously. And as literally, I need to stop the caster curse, dude. It's all over me.
It's rough. It can be.
Yeah, and it's just a poor 50-50 from Lions just pours out to Lamp, and Instinct just barely not able to get in the way. It's always dangerous when it rolls up that way.
Gil was just a bit too far, and that point goes out to San Diego State representing the blue. And look at this. We are seeing them slowly over the course of the night slide those graphs over and over, ever so carefully, inching on closer to Boise State. They're just taking more shots, more side control. The boost has been pretty fair game. I mean, at this level of play, you see a pretty fair boost pathing from everyone. The answer is max, and they're doing a great job. But, man, do we think Boise State's slipping? Do we think that we're seeing good accommodations from San Diego?
I don't know if I can say Boise State is slipping, because I honestly can't tell what's going on outside of San Diego has a lot of pressure. It could be on San Diego as well. But honestly, at this point, if I have to offer advice to either team, I feel like San Diego's kind of got their number going. They had a little bit of some risky moments where they had all three really pushed up, where it could have gone badly, but it didn't. And if I had to make some suggestions for BSU, it's look for each other to get out of your side, because it feels like you're just barely not quite there with some of these passes. Like the intent is there, it's going the right direction, but you're not quite beating them to the ball, so you're getting these weird 50-50s.
Excellent. All right. Well, we have a quick switch out, maybe to keep things fresh. Looks like Cosmo Buster from Boise State University's lineup is going to be switching Lions out. Well, it's a hot seat. We've seen Danger and Lions fill the role. Now it is up to Cosmo with a quick switch behind the curtain. See if he can bring the heat that we need and bring that presence. Be there for the passes and be there to make the passes. Be there to dig it out from the two defenders. We usually see these passes going to a quick demo and the quick respawn. Not a lot of value off that, but Cosmo looking to send it out of that corner. Not going to happen. Goes in Dog's favor, trying to bring it down, but there's just too much waiting for him. Oh, no, there's not. Freeor drops it right over Gil. I thought Gil was going to take that for sure.
Yeah, that looked pretty close. I thought Gil had it too. And, you know, not the end of the world.
No, definitely
not.
not.
Might even revert to the 2-2 games.
Oh, easily.
Still got a lot of Rocket League left to play, but
we sure
San
might.
Diego is at match point now.
They
though.
are indeed. And if they can just burn the clock, they're in a winning position. So Boise State's got a little bit of a hill to roll up here. They've got to make at least a point to run to overtime. Ideally get a few to bring us to full match point, full match tie, and finish it off. Can they do it in 4 minutes? Let's see. Lamp with a little bit of reverse is able to chip it up. Not a very comfortable corner considering the position of his teammates. So Gil gets a nice run in towards it. They let him hold it a little too long, but they did cut it off in time. So Cosmo deep on the other side leaves only Instinct to try to dig it out of this corner. Instinct looking to pop it up, get some decent distance, but Lamp is ready for him on the defense. Gil with a decent reply, go nice and slow, fakes Dog out, sends it, but not a whole lot of, oh, Cosmo was so close to running around that and routing it to the front of the goal, but it doesn't happen now. It's back to fair game. Instinct with a good setup, Lamp's ready for it. Sends it over, a little bit of piling up on the halfway there so we don't get a quick chip over, but Gil's eventually ready for it. Goes back over, and the chip back and forth just keep happening. It seems like this defensive-paced hold keeps things from the key of the goal, from the mouth, from that striped goal plate here. Freeor just with a smooth drop down right over the back plate. Waterfalls it in, bringing them to a 2-0. So close.
Yeah, and we saw BSU give up a 2-0 lead and take it to overtime earlier, so definitely still looking out for BSU here, but gosh, I mean, that was a great shot. I gotta hand it. That was a fantastic shot. So I'm really hoping to see kind of an equivalent level of prowess coming from BSU here. Have a close game regardless of which way it goes.
It was, yeah, I would love to see that too, and meticulous shots like that where Feor just kind of dropped it right down in on top. Lamp getting ready to do it again, but the setup's not quite there over Instinct. Instinct's able to drop it over. Lamp with a great reply onto Cosmo, sweeping it right underneath him, and Dog with a quick pass ends up passing it to Gil, wrong car. Dog looking to say sorry and bring it back down, doesn't quite happen. Cosmo sets it up for Instinct to drop it over Lamp, and Feor, man, is just too ready for that back post. Otherwise, Gil is posted up and ready for it, so we see it go back to the orange side. Instinct is able to take it right out from that goal. Lamp ready to reply. Nice little midair collision takes Lamp off. A good punishment for his bad deeds. Gil not quite high enough to get a lot of space off that, but he is able to prevent it from going too far. Setting it up for Cosmo to drop it in again, but again, just not a great position. It ends up going to the corner, and Lamp's able to chip it on out, dig it out, let Feor help. Instinct doesn't want it to happen, though. It's a good accommodation to Feor's push, sending it back kind of towards the middle, and we keep seeing pushes like that. Everyone in midair is ready, and they can see it. They've got the ball cam on. Everybody is watching, keeping eyes on where it's going to go, and it feels like the team's just passing it to each other. Dog takes it from Gil. Cosmo responds with a little bump, trying to set up for Instinct. Instinct goes too high, and it gives Dog enough time to reply. Lamp takes it right out from under Cosmo. Instinct now, it's his turn again to grab it, but Gil, takes it out from underneath Lamp. That is nice, because Gil's in a pretty decent position for Instinct to set it up for him. Cosmo going in for it, and there it is. That's it. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, and that might be what we need to shift the momentum a little bit more towards BSU, but I gotta hand it to them. Even if San Diego walks away with this series, they definitely earned it.
Oh, definitely. Both teams are working hard here. You can see those little colored bars that say that each team has been taking turns taking the goal. 3-2 with only 90 seconds on the clock here, and what a quick one from Dog. Wow, the ferocity does not want to see this go to Boise State. Goodness. Dog sends it right in, and Instinct has no option but to watch from the corner boost. It is close. The same 90 seconds we were just looking at this time. Another 2-goal lead for Boise State to fight for.
Yeah, and something's got to change in these last seconds because there's not a lot of time left to save the series. There's no redo. And
There is not.
Cosmo was kind of thrown into this series, already given a crutch.
He was.
Already handed the crutch, but definitely not something they can't find their way out of.
No, and Cosmo is comfortable with this team. We didn't just pull one of us in here. This is a seasoned professional that is comfortable playing with Gil and Instinct, so they have the power to make it happen. But in 1 minute, 2 goals, I'd say usually that's not a problem, but the pace of this game has been so collegiate. Wow, Dog with another one. Everybody was on top of that. Another backboard kill as Freer sets it up, and Dog is ready for the rebound. Cosmo had already used his spot up, and Gil was not quite in the reload for that third man position. And that's got to be the man that's there when everything goes wrong like it is now. A 3-goal lead to make, even to try for a golden goal, which didn't go well last time with 45 seconds on the clock. That's 15 apiece. And that's just not the pace that we've been looking at. It's coming down to a close.
Yeah, and I think a couple goals now have been a complete result of just nobody's handling the backboard at all for Team BSU.
Yeah.
It just feels like when it hits the backboard, there's no one there to respond, and there's only a prayer to be had.
Yep. 20 seconds back on the goal. San Diego State looking for some extra points. Boise State looking to at least equalize it and soften the blow.
Ooh, great passing
A
play.
beautiful passing play. Gil with a nice one, bringing us to a 4-2 with 11 seconds on the clock.
Definitely not impossible, but highly improbable.
Yeah, mathematically speaking, it can be done. I have seen 2 goals scored in 11 seconds.
Just have to wait and see. I mean, one of these goals this game scored for San Diego State was a kickoff goal after all.
It was 5-second goal, no problem.
Yeah, so definitely
that's exactly what they're going to need. It. Oh, so
they
close.
That. Oh, and
Just
that will be the game.
Playing with us, but that is just about it. As soon as it touches down here in the corner, we're looking at winner blue San Diego State. Congratulations, you take this NACE game at 4-2 on the final bout.
Yeah, a definite close series, a lot of close calls for BSU, and I think at the end of the day, San Diego State just had really good offense and were really doing a good job of getting in the way of the BSU game plan, which was a lot of passing.
Yep, they were. Well, excellent play. Wow, we saw a lot tonight. We saw plenty.
Yes.
Got through a lot of ET, got through
Yes.
plenty of ECAC, got through plenty of NACE. Just for the NACE, do you think you've got anybody in pocket for a little bit of player of the game here?
Man, I'd be kidding myself if I didn't say Dog.
Dog was doing excellent. And at first I didn't think much of him, but wow, he just appeared on site every time something needed to be stolen. An absolute just ball kleptomaniac there. Absolutely swiped it so many times.
Yeah, and if not Dog, Freer was all over the scoreboard. But
yeah, he was.
Dog, for me, was a highlight player on the offensive end of the field, and I think he really showed up today.
I think Freer was some excellent IGL business. And it goes to Gil. And Gil has been playing quite a bit all over tonight's NACE and ECAC, in it for the long haul for sure.
Yeah, definitely Gil being a part of almost every goal scored. I feel like he's a really talented player. He plays the midfield very well. He's got that strength to him. And he's also involved in passing plays. He's got precision passes along with very well-placed shots. Definitely a player to look out for.
The player of the game is brought to you by Idaho's Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho's Central's helping members achieve financial success. Gil, you are the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations. All right, well, that's about it for all of us. As we prepare to close out this match, you got any big things to say?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The defense finally surfaced in those last couple
really
of games.
did.
I feel like no team should have anything to worry about from today.
No.
Everything should just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Maybe look at some replays when you have the time tomorrow or the next day. Deep breath. Remember that we're all still learning and move on from there.
All right. Well, drink your milk, drink your Red Bull, watch those VODs, and you guys have a good night. This has been Boise State coming to you live from the Game Pants Arena time and time again. You guys have a good night.
regardless of that, BSU is still holding their own at only a 1-2 deficit so far.
Yeah, a very, very small hole to dig themselves out of, but not a very comfortable position to be in. No fret no longer. Lions takes one for the team and puts us to a 2-2 here at 0 points in this side. So Gil rushes over an Instinct, ready to accept on the other side, going back to offense. Dog with a quick 180, not quite quick enough, and Lamp coming in forward, drives just on top of Instinct to let him get a good goal from underneath. Let's see this replay. Lamp already sees what's happening. It's going in for a Dog, trying to get that, but all he gets with Lamp. Gil looking to drive it in, gets abrupt stop from the 2. Gil back ready again, goes in for another sail, maybe a set for Lions, and Lions takes it. And an excellent play there. Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think both goals this game have been passing plays of some kind. And again, I have to point out, Gil was involved in all of them. A lot of those goals should be scored on them, right?
Right. More offense can mean a higher goal game, and you just want to hope that in your favor. Wow. Finally, last time they tried to set up for that backward play, it didn't quite come in clutch, but they did a little run it back, and they made it happen this time. Instinct with a good pass to the... Oh, and Dog just goes underneath it. A nice little jump could have made it happen, but it's not there. Lions so close, fighting it out of this goal. And sometimes it feels like they made the goal just a pixel smaller, just for you. Free are fighting in, but he's got 2 in front of him. He demos 1, but Lions is ready to follow it. Wow, they just absolutely corralled it in there, just pushed it straight forward. Freer had no chance. Full boost from that last corner. Doesn't have enough. Gets one, but can't bump it up. And